Hi, how's it going? I let's see. It's Friday night, December 18th, 2020, 10:34 p.m. And I just got home from Temple Square and the Cheesecake Factory with my mom. Welcome. It's December 18th, 2020, 10:35 p.m. My name's Jarrett Earl Casey, and I'm here at my apartment in Midvale, Utah. Um, I I had a difficult day today. Um, I spoke with HR and they're pulling my assignment. Um, she said they were definitely looking further into my concerns, but I expressed concern that I'll never know what they find or if anything's ever done about them. Um, and uh, and we discussed, the reason they're pulling the assignment is because I had expressed concern about people may perhaps maybe being able to hear my voice in from my mind. Um, and so, we discussed, she's like, well, most of our assignments deal with more sensitive data. I said, I know. And that's why I've been trying to seek what to do about this. I don't know. I kept hearing it wasn't a big deal, but I kept wanting to hear, I don't want to say something different, but something more official, rather than just, oh, don't worry about it, or oh well, if something happens, we'll know that you didn't mean it, but something really like, okay, well, in this case, this is what you need to do to you can, if it's you can go get tested or something, and then depending on how that goes, it either is okay or it isn't. And if it isn't, then uh, these are the types of jobs you can have. Um, things like that. I don't know. I want to do the right thing, but I told her I also don't want to upheave my whole life and take a bunch of jobs off the table that would be options, just because I think maybe someone somewhere might be able to hear my thoughts that isn't in the spirit world or somewhere else, uh, you know, through time and space, you know. So anyways, but so the assignment's over, and I am working more shifts at the restaurant next week, so I'll be working a little bit, but it's going to put me in a financial struggle, which I'm used to those. But I've been doing so much better, being able to catch up on some bills. I I very much hope that I can find something else soon so that I can keep doing that. I have all these people in my head talking about fiscal responsibility and um, the importance of being a productive member of society. And I'm like, well, I'm sorry that I haven't been good with money. 2 years ago I made $8,000. I've just been It's been very difficult for me. Not as difficult as it should be according to some people, but there's a lot to a person and their existence. Um, and I feel very proud of all the progress I've made this year, and I very much wanted to continue that into next year to show that I could be more responsible financially and continue to be a productive member of society. I've been one since June. And I'm very capable. And I've finally gotten through a lot of the fog. Now I'm just working on just being more quiet and clear-minded. I still kind of go off on little tangents, but I've gotten through the worst of it this last 2 months. And this job just was, I was just very disappointed. It was very concerning for me. I still hold concerns about it, that someone else might have to step into that same position and experience something similar. But I don't know what to do. I keep saying that in my head, all these things coming at me, I'm like, there's so much going on. There's so many suspicious things, but they are, but they aren't. And they're all happening at once. So it's like, no matter who I talk to, I feel like there's no point. And I don't know what to do. I don't know who my resources are or who to look to for guidance or leadership. And I feel I don't want to say hopeless. I still hold a lot of hope. Very difficult. My upstairs neighbor is, never mind. Anyways, so that happened, and then I went to the gym, and I came home. I played on Duolingo a little bit, which was really fun. I did Arabic, Italian, French, and Spanish. I just kind of did a few lessons in each. And I have so much fun doing those. And my mom came down. I sent out my Christmas cards, but I forgot to put my return address on them. So whatever. I'd like, oh, I have to write that on those, and then I forgot. But at least they went out, and my mom and I went to go to Temple Square. The temple's closed for renovation for 4 years, but I thought there would be more lights, so there weren't. But so we just kind of walked around City Creek, and then we went to Cheesecake Factory and she had a cup of coffee, and I had some water, and we shared a slice of cheesecake, and that was really nice to spend time with her. I hear in my mind that they wanted me to be more Christ-like and more present when she was speaking to me. They say that I'm very self-involved or self-important because I would speak and then she would speak, but when she was speaking, my mind would still be kind of going, hearing things up here, and it's sometimes hard for me to focus. And that's something I'm working on. Some days I'm really good at it, and then other days are more difficult. And but and I heard today that just on the way home, someone said that the LDS Church never wants anything to do with me again. They want me to incarnate in times where they don't exist on the planet. So I was like, why would they say that? I don't know if these people are making it up or if people really feel that way about me. And if they do, I would love for them to come speak to me at least. I just think that's such a powerful thing to speak. I don't know why so few people do it. And this guy said that they keep trying to, they want to awaken me successfully, or they want to awaken me financially, or they want to awaken me politically, or awaken me spiritually. Or like, well, all awakenings are spiritual in nature, but awaken me this way, awaken me that way. I'm like, can you just awaken me lovingly, caringly, gently, patiently, presently? Teaching, guiding, learning, supporting, not, just kind of like, how it it's supposed to be. And then if you want the other stuff, then we can work on that. That can be woven into that, the teaching and the learning part. Anyways, he said he may have to bring me in and just put me to sleep, and that I'll never wake up. And I thought, what an awful thing to say. But it was good to sit with my mom, and we sat and talked. She said, Jarrett, your life is good. You're a good person, and you have a good life, and you created that. Oh, well, I'm very grateful to be safe, and I am a good person and had many great good things in my life. And it is a good life, I guess. And I know I have a lot to give. And although I don't have anything, I still know I have a lot to give. Anyways, I feel then I hear when I express myself this way, then some people say, you sound like you just want everyone to feel bad for you. You sound pathetic. Sorry. This is how I feel right now. Oh, it's getting a little warm. Um, so I just keep looking forward to 2021. My mom said she's gonna try and be inspired by the small things and by the details, and to be more present for those and to notice them and to carry them with her through her day. And I thought, well, that's a really nice goal for 2021. So I think maybe I'll try and do the same. And she was telling me Christmas memories of opening gifts and to see what they were and then rewrapping them. The funny things like that. But it's gonna keep going. So here we have chapter 12, the Holy Spirit's curriculum. Oh, I hate these long sections. Section 3, the investment in reality. I once asked you to sell all you have and give to the poor and follow me. This is what I meant. If you have no investment in anything in this world, you can teach the poor where their treasure is. The poor are merely those who have invested wrongly, and they are poor indeed. Because they are in need, it is given you to help them, since you are among them. Consider how perfectly your lesson would be learned if you were unwilling to share their poverty. For poverty is lack, and there is but one lack, since there is but one need. Suppose a brother insists on having you do something you think you do not want to do. His very insistence should tell you that he believes salvation lies in it. If you insist on refusing and experience a quick response of opposition, you are believing that your salvation lies in not doing it. You then are making the same mistake he is and are making his error real to both of you. Insistence means investment, and what you invest in is always related to your notion of salvation. The question is always twofold. First, what is to be saved? And second, how can it be saved? Whenever you become angry with a brother for whatever reason, you are believing that the ego is to be saved and to be saved by attack. If he attacks, you are agreeing with this belief. And if you attack, you are reinforcing it. Remember that those who attack are poor. Their poverty asks for gifts, not for further impoverishment. You who could help them are surely acting destructively if you accept their poverty as yours. If you had not invested as they had, it would never occur to you to overlook their need. Recognize what does not matter. And if your brothers ask you for something outrageous, do it because it does not matter. Refuse, and your opposition establishes that it does matter to you. It is only you, therefore, who have made the request outrageous, and every request of a brother is for you. Why would you insist in denying him? For to do so is to deny yourself and impoverish both. He is asking for salvation as you are. Poverty is of the ego and never of God. And no outrageous requests can be made of one who recognizes what is valuable and wants to accept nothing else. Salvation is for the mind, and it is attained through peace. This is the only thing that can be saved and the only way to save it. Any response other than love arises from a confusion about the what and the how of salvation. And this is the only answer. Never lose sight of this and never allow yourself to believe, even for an instant, that there is another answer. For you will surely place yourself among the poor who do not understand that they dwell in abundance and that salvation is come. To identify with the ego is to attack yourself and make yourself poor. That is why everyone who identifies with the ego feels deprived. What he experiences is then depression or anger because what he did to himself, what he did was to exchange self love for self hate, making him afraid of himself. He does not realize this. Even if he is fully aware of anxiety, he does not perceive its source as his own ego identification. And he always tries to handle it by making it some sort of insane arrangement with the world. He always perceives this world as outside himself, for this is crucial to his adjustment. He does not realize that he makes this world, for there is no world outside of him. If only the loving thoughts of God's Son are the world's reality, the real world must be in his mind. His insane thoughts, too, must be in his mind, but an internal conflict of this magnitude he cannot tolerate. A split mind is endangered, and the recognition that it encompasses completely opposed thoughts within itself is intolerable. Therefore, the mind projects the split, not the reality. Everything you perceive as the outside world is merely your attempt to maintain your ego identification. For everyone believes that identification is salvation. Yet consider what has happened, for thoughts do have consequences to the thinker. You have become at odds with the world as you perceive it because you think it is antagonistic to you. This is a necessary consequence of what you have done. You have projected outward what is antagonistic to what is inward, and therefore you would have to perceive it this way. That is why you must realize that your hatred is in your mind and not outside it before you can get rid of it, and why you must get rid of it before you can perceive the world as it really is. I said before that God so loved the world that he gave it to his only begotten Son. God does love the real world, and those who perceive its reality cannot see the world of death, where death is not of the real world, in which everything reflects the eternal. God gave you the real world in exchange for the one you made out of your split mind, and which is the symbol of death. For if you could really separate yourself from the mind of God, you would die. The world you perceive is a world of separation. Perhaps you are willing to accept even death to deny your Father. Yet he would not have it so, and so it is not so. You still cannot will against him, and that is why you have no control over the world you made. It is not a world of will because it is governed by the desire to be unlike God. And this desire is not will. The world you made is therefore totally chaotic, governed by arbitrary and senseless laws without meaning of any kind. For it is made out of what you do not want, projected from your mind because you are afraid of it. Yet this world is only in the mind of its maker, along with his real salvation. Do not believe it is outside of yourself, for only by recognizing where it is will you gain control over it. For you do have control over your mind, since the mind is the mechanism of decision. If you will recognize that all the attack you perceive is in your own mind and nowhere else, you will at least have placed its source, and where it begins, it must end. For in this same place also lies salvation. The altar of God where Christ abideth is there. You have defiled the altar, but not the world. Yet Christ has placed the atonement on the altar for you. Bring your perceptions of the world to this altar, for it is the altar to truth. There you will see your vision changed, and there you will learn to see truly. From this place, where God and his Son dwell in peace, and where you are welcome, you will look out in peace and behold the world truly. Yet to find the place, you must relinquish your investment in the world as you project it, allowing the Holy Spirit to extend the real world to you from the altar of God. Wow. Oh, wow. All right. Well, it is 11 p.m. I'm going to go to bed. I'm so tired. I love you so much. Have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow. Okay, bye.